Hi, this is Nick with ISG. Welcome to my channel where we're going to be talking all things real estate in the Czech Republic. I'm going to be doing a small series for videos on how to sell your property for the highest value. The first part of that we're going to start with is preparation. What you'll see throughout my series of videos is that preparation for me is one of the most important parts, and I find that people often rush in to decisions, be that selling, buying, renovating, whatever. The planning stage is often the most important. So when you come to sell your property, I think the first thing to do is to have a look at sort of the administrative side and just check that everything's in order. You know, if you have a mortgage, can you repay that mortgage now? Is there a penalty? It's good to start negotiating or discussing that with your bank. Also, to know what's happening with like your owners association. If you own an apartment, it will be good to have some details about the kind of situation the owner association's in, what your bills are each month and things like that. Also is a good idea to download an extract from the land registry, which you can do online on cuzk.cz. So you can find out about your property, just to check if there's anything on there that maybe you didn't know about. Especially as foreigners, sometimes moving around a lot, some old bill might have become some execution that you have absolutely no idea about, but it's on your property. So it's just good to make sure all those things are clear before you start. So after you've done your administrative side, it will be good to start preparing the property itself, because when your agent or someone comes around to view it, obviously first impression is very important. So I would recommend doing some basic repairs, spending some money before you start. Try and make that place look as good as possible. There is going to be some staging, I would say, is a good idea, which we'll talk about later. But for now, I think at the very start is just looking at what needs repairing in your apartment. Another thing that's really important to do is to give the apartment a really thorough clean. I mean, you've been living there for a long time. I'm sure you keep your property really clean, but there's always those bits that everyone looks at like that needs doing. And those are the kinds of things that eventually people will look at. Because first of all, you want to sell this property to your agent, who can then sell their property to their client. So it's a process from the beginning. Part of that, I would also recommend decluttering your property as much as possible. You know, a lot of people have a lot of stuff. A lot of the apartments don't have adequate storage, so people are putting things in different places. It will be good to try and get rid of as much stuff as you can from the apartment before selling, because it will make the apartment just seem bigger and better and more airy. So, I mean, you can rent a storage place for that, or find somewhere to put it, or just get rid of stuff. But basically, you want to start this process of preparing as well as possible. Another thing that's really important when you come to sell is the timing. There's different things. There's the seasonal aspect of it. You need to look, sometimes in the summer, prices are a little lower, in the winter as well, and in the spring and autumn, you tend to find prices tend to trend up a little bit more. In general, that's because people are back from their holidays. There's also the general trend of the market. Is the market moving up or down? So it's good to sort of work out when could be a good time to advertise your property. And the last thing would be tax implications. If you've held your property for 2 years as your main residence, you can sell it without any tax on the capital gain. If you've held it for 5 years and you've also been renting it, the same is true. You can also sell it without capital gain. So it's good to think about those things as well as the aforementioned mortgage penalties or potential penalties you might find, just to make sure you're able to sell it for as much as possible. Please check back soon for the next video, which is going to be all about how to find the right agent or whether not to use an agent at all. Thanks.